Hey guys, welcome back to the Spread Running Game Academy. Today we are going to talk about the base outside run play in the spread offense, the stretch play. Let's get into it. All right, a little chalk talk on stretch. Here's one of the things I love about stretch. It is the exact same blocking scheme as zone. Now, the technique is different, and I'll talk about that in a second. The technique is different, but the people you block are the same. So I'm going to come back up here. So I'm in the playbook again, and I'm on page 5. And you'll notice I don't have a section on zone and stretch because the rules are exactly the same. Covered and uncovered principles. Okay, so the difference is now instead of zone blocking, we're going to reach block, right? Which is different simply because our steps are a little bit different and our the defense is going to react differently because of what is happening in the backfield. So we're still going to stick with our covered and our uncovered principles, however. And so the reason that's beautiful is you guys already know how to do this. So they already know if they're covered or if they're uncovered and what that means. The difference now is that if they're uncovered, they're going to try to get up to that second level as quickly as possible. And if they're covered, they have to take a wider step because of what's happening in the backfield. Okay. But the rules are exactly the same. And I write that right here. Okay. So zone and stretch, you can run it against any 5 or 6 man front and the rules don't change. And so that's really important because the less we have to teach our guys, the better, right? The more we can focus on how to block instead of who to block, the better blockers we're going to be. Okay, so let's go down here to page, now I'm on page 11. So if you're following along in the playbook, page 11, let's talk about rules and responsibilities. So we come up to the line. This is obviously a 4-2 box, okay, and we are running it to the one technique here. We're going to go through covered and uncovered principles, just like we would on zone, and talk about who blocks who, and then talk about technique. All right, so obviously the tackle right here, he is covered. Okay, so his responsibility is to reach block that defensive end. Now, the defensive end most likely has contained, so realize the defensive end is going to flow this way. And so your offensive tackle has to anticipate that unless they have a stunt on or something like that. If they have a stunt on and he slants, then the guard should pick that up, right? So that's what we'll work on all day long. We work on our double team drill. But with just this alignment, let's pretend there's no stunt right now. We are covered, we're going to reach, okay? The guard is uncovered, which means he's going to step play side, anticipate slant, and if not, the difference is on stretch, okay, as opposed to zone. On zone, we can be a little bit more patient before we get to the second level because we want to create vertical movement. That's essential. On stretch, we got to go, okay, because this Sam backer is going to flow hard when he sees outside run. So we have to realize we're going to step flat, and if we don't get initial slant, we're gone up to the second level right now. Okay, get there now. Okay, get there now because we don't want this Sam to outflank us and outrun us. And if this Sam is running hard, the defensive end is running hard too, which means we're hard reach and hard reach. But it's really important to teach your guys if you're uncovered, okay, you step play side, anticipate slant, and if you don't get slant, then you're up to the second level. And in this alignment right here, the likelihood of him lining up outside and slanting inside while the Sam is here is very unlikely, right? The time they're going to get slant is when they're stacked, right? So teach your guys to recognize that, right? Most likely, 90% of the time, this guard is just going to be bam, bam, up to the second level as quick as he can get there. And then obviously he's trying to get his head on the outside of that Sam. I'll talk about that in a second when I talk about technique. Okay, same thing for the center. Okay, he's covered. So we have to reach that nose, and that's a tough block because your head's between your legs. So we have to reach that nose. We're covered. We have no help, right? Because the guards step and play side. So we have no help. We have to get our head across. We cannot allow penetration. If nothing else, what we want to do is we want to step wide. We're working for the outside armpit of the defender, and we are trying to run him. And if nothing else, we want to run him like this, okay? But we cannot allow the nose to penetrate in the A gap. That will kill the play because the running back isn't going to have enough time to react and he's going to get blown up right there, okay, if we allow penetration. Okay, backside. Let me talk about backside, and then I'll talk about backfield action and what you're going to see in some of these cut-ups. Backside depends on what you're doing here, okay? If you run stretch the traditional way, So if you run stretch like this with a running back coming across the face of the quarterback, then you need to make sure you block this backside 3, because this takes some time to develop. And if the backside 3 penetrates here, he can blow that up. Okay. However, what we've actually gone to, and you're going to see this in the cut-ups, we hardly ever run this anymore, where we stretch across the quarterback's face and then cut it up vertically. What we actually do most of the time now is we run toss. So we're going to put the running back on the play side and just toss it out here. Because if we want to run stretch, like let me get back up. The way this usually works, if we're running this way, usually what happens here with this type of stretch action is this actually usually ends up cutting up in the B gap most of the time, because the defensive end stretches it, the Sam stretches, and the running back sticks his foot in the ground right here and gets vertical in the B gap. And my take is I already have a million plays that hit in the B gap. If I want to run stretch, I want to get the edge. So let's put our guy on the play side, or let's run jet sweep and try to get the edge. Let's not worry about trying to run stretch in here. Now, again, if I was in college, and in college, you're not going to reach this guy, right? I mean, he's too well coached, he's too good of an athlete, and he's too fast and he's too strong. So most of the time in college, you're not going to get that block done without any type of outside leverage, like a wham or a seal block or something coming from your receiver or running back. You're not going to get him reach. You might get him running to the sideline, which is going to create angles for your running back to cut it up. So if I was in college, maybe I'd still do this more often. So I'm saying all of that to say this: if you're going to put your tailback on the play side and run toss, or if you're going to run jet sweep where your H is in full speed mode before he gets the ball, you don't have to stay on this guy very long. That's my point. Okay. Which means your guard, obviously he's uncovered right now. He's got to get up to the mic anyway, but your tackle, he can, if we're going to really run toss here, he can kind of just like sift here, stay on this guy for a second, but then try to get up to the free safety, because we're going to outflank and outrun this backside tackle anyway because of what we're doing on the play side or in the backfield with our running back. We're going to toss out here. So again, that's just kind of a way we've evolved running stretch. You can still run it this way. There's nothing wrong with running it this way. I'm just saying, for me, like, I already have a lot of plays that hit in here, right? We already got dart, trap, counter, and zone that all hit right here, right? So if I'm going to run stretch, I want this edge, right? I want the numbers out here. So again, what you do on the backside here really depends on what you're doing in the backfield. And if you can get your tackle up to that free safety, you might get a touchdown if you get the edge, right? As opposed to wasting him for too long on that down guy. Okay, so just be aware of that and give yourself some examples. I also put up here in the playbook, stretch is also a great time to tag a backside screen because these guys aren't in the play anyway, right? You don't have to waste your H blocking their will backer here, because their will backer, if he makes the tackle, it's going to be way over here, right? He's not going to flow all the way across the field to make the tackle. So it's a really good time to tag. You could tag backside slant, or you could tag a bubble, or you could tag a screen of some kind. You could even run you could run brown. Okay, you could run a fade and an out over back here and do an RPO. And just teach your QBs, if you like the numbers, if you're 2-on-2 out here, maybe just throw this. So it's a good time on stretch because these guys are wasted anyway. As opposed to zone, I'm not a huge fan of tagging backside routes on zone, because zone, you kind of need these guys to block because zone's going to cut back, right? So if zone cuts back, these guys need to be in the blocking scheme. Whereas stretch, it's going this way. Okay, it's going this way, and these guys are wasted anyway, so you might as well do something productive with them. Again, kind of a nuanced little coaching point there. All right, let's talk about stretch versus a couple different fronts. So here we go, 2-1 technique. Here's what it looks like. We already talked about that. 2-A-3 technique. Obviously, the key block 2-A-3 technique is this play side guard. Penetration here will kill the play, even if you're running toss or a jet sweep, right? Penetration in that B gap is going to kill the play. So your play side guard has to get his head across. You got to get your head across. The technique here, I'll talk a little bit about this when we talk about the drills, but the technique is to take your backside arm and rip, as you step wide, you rip your backside arm to the outside armpit of that defender, and then you just run. And if he runs this way, just keep running him. Okay, vertical movement is great, but horizontal movement is fine, because our running back, what will happen is he'll take the toss here and he'll read it, right? And he's going to cut vertical when he sees a gap. So if you can keep your guys running this way, you're giving our running back opportunities to cut. But penetration here kills us, so it's got to be a nice wide step and then get your head outside. The center is uncovered. So he's going to step to the A gap, anticipate slant, but if he doesn't get it, he's up to that second level right now. Okay. Backside guard, tough block, really tough block. Okay. He's got to get his head in front, cannot allow penetration. It's not as important as this block, but it's still important because that's an A gap defender. And if he slants hard, he can still blow that toss play up. Okay. So we got to get vertical or horizontal movement here. We have to get our head across. Backside tackle, he's free. Get up to the second level. Try to seal that mic. If the mic outruns you, get up to the free safety. Okay, but he's free. You don't need to waste your energy on this guy at all. He is not going to make the play. Okay, so there we go. 4-2, 2-3 technique. Let's scroll down. Okay, this is a time where you have to anticipate slant. So if we're going to run it against a 3-3 stack, you have to anticipate slant here, right? Because they're going to run, if they're running this defense, that's because they want to do that and that, or they want to do that and that. They're running all kinds of games here, and they're running all kinds of games here. Now, the backside tackle doesn't have to worry about that. He can just get up. You probably don't even have to worry about this guy that much, honestly. Chip him and maybe even get up to the free safety. But backside tackle is good. But these two guys, this combo and this combo, they need to anticipate slant. So what's going to happen is the tackle is going to reach the end, and if the end plays outside, then the guard's just going to go bam, right up to the sandbacker. But if this end plays into the B gap, then the guard's going to try to take him over, and the tackle's going to get up to the Sam. Okay, so you have to, if you're playing a 3-3 and you're going to run stretch, you have to work that combo all day long. Work it with guys slanting in and guys coming over top, with the Sam coming inside and the end coming outside. Again, remember, we're trying to get the edge. So the tackle has to anticipate, they're both anticipating. The tackle anticipates outside slant, and the guard anticipates inside slant. And if they both do that, they're going to step together, both big, wide stretch steps. And either way this guy slants, we're going to be able to take over, right? So if he slants inside, easy. Guard takes him over, tackle gets up to the Sam. If he slants outside, tackle continues to try to reach him, guard gets up to the Sam. Same thing goes for this combo right here, okay? The guard has to anticipate inside slant here, and the center has to anticipate outside slant here. So we're going to step wide, we're going to step wide, we're going to try to get our head across, and if he slants inside, great. That's easy for us for the backside guard. If he slants outside, the center is going to take him, and I'm going to get up to the mic backer. Okay, so again, covered and uncovered rules, but against a 3-3 stack, you have to anticipate slants either way, because that's why they're running this defense, right? They want to play games. Okay, let's keep going. 4-1. Okay, I'll say it now. I drew it up, okay, because maybe you're really good at stretch and you want to keep running stretch, but against 5-man boxes, so that's a 4-1, and that's a true 3-4. 3-2 box. Okay, this look right here. Against a true 5-man box, I wouldn't run stretch very often, quite honestly, because why? Like, think about it. Okay, so let's go to, I'm on page 14. So this is what it will look like against a 4-1. We're trying to get the edge, right? Well, our numbers advantage against a 5-man box is inside. So I would, again, we're gonna take what the defense gives us. So if they're gonna give us a 5-man box, I don't really want to run out here because they got 4 defenders out here and I only have 1, 2, 3 blockers. Okay, maybe my guard can get up to that safety. So maybe I'm 4-on-4, but in here, right? In here I'm 6-on-5. So in here I got numbers because we're not going to block this. Actually, I'm 6-on-4 because I don't have to block this guy, right? So I have 5 offensive linemen and a quarterback to take care of 4 interior guys. So I would rather run zone, counter, trap, dart if I'm going to get a true 5-man box. That, again, that's just me. You can still run stretch, and I've drawn it up, and your rules stay the same, right? So it's covered and uncovered principles. So against a 4-1, the tackle here is covered. He's going to reach. Guard's uncovered. He's going to step, anticipate slant, but get up to the next level. Center's covered. He's going to reach. Guard's uncovered. He's going to step, anticipate slant, get up to the next level. Backside tackle's covered. So he's going to step and try to get his head across and create, if nothing else, create horizontal movement and just run this guy. But again, what are you doing? You're attacking an area where the defense has more numbers than you have, or at least even numbers. Whereas if you run in here, if you run zone here as opposed to stretch, you have a huge numbers advantage. So I'm just saying that, and I'll talk more about this in the very last video where we talk about what to run and when to run it. But I'm just saying, if you have a true 5-man box, I would just keep attacking inside all night long until they stop you. There's exceptions to that, obviously. If you're playing a true 3-4 and their nose guard is a stud and it takes 3 guys to block him, then obviously you don't want to run in here, right? Take the edge. Try to get the edge all night and try to get your receivers to block out here and create numbers advantages on the outside. If by blocking these guys, you can do that. But if all things are equal, right, and you can handle their 5 interior guys, if they're going to put 5 in the box, remember you don't have to block him. So really, you're 6 on 4. So I like running inside against 5-man boxes more than I like running stretch. But if you do want to run stretch, just stick with your rules. Covered and uncovered principles. Teach your guys to step flat, anticipate slant, and if they don't get it, get up to that second level. Okay, so there you go. There's some chalk talk about stretch. We're going to get to the cut-ups in just a second, but before I do that, I want to demonstrate that technique that I was mentioning when I was going through the playbook right there. When I say rip with that backside arm, remember, so if we're running stretch this way, okay, we're going to step this way, we're going to aim for the outside armpit, and then we're going to take our backside arm and rip through, and what that's really going to do is create horizontal movement. As we rip, that's going to cause the defender to run, and that's going to create those horizontal running lanes. Okay, so I wanted to mention that and just show that to you, because I was talking about it and you couldn't see me. So I just wanted to show you what that backside rip looked like. And again, we'll see some examples of that on the cut-ups as well. So go ahead and click onto the next video and we will get into some stretch cut-ups.